Succession planting. Succession planting involves planting new crops as soon as one is harvested. We explore how this technique ensures a continuous supply of fresh produce. Intensive planting. Intensive planting, or square-foot gardening, optimizes space by planting closely together in defined grids or blocks. We explain how to reduce wasted space and grow more in less area. Vertical gardening and container variety. Here, we revisit the benefits of vertical gardening and choosing containers of various sizes and heights. These strategies maximize your harvest in confined spaces. Maximizing your harvest in small spaces. Even in a confined space, you can achieve remarkable yields by implementing high-yield gardening techniques. Let's explore strategies for getting the most out of your garden. Succession planting. Succession planting involves strategically planting different crops in the same space one after the other to maximize your garden's productivity. Here's a list outlining some of the best plant combinations for succession growing. 1. Leafy greens. Start with fast-growing leafy greens like lettuce, spinach, and arugula in early spring. Follow with heat-tolerant varieties like Swiss chard and kale for summer harvesting. End the season with cool weather greens again in the fall. 2. Radishes and carrots. Plant radishes as a quick crop in spring, which also helps loosen the soil. As radishes mature, plant carrots in the same space. The radishes will be harvested before the carrots need the space. 3. Bush beans and bush peas. Begin with bush beans in late spring. Once the beans are harvested, plant bush peas for a late summer or early fall crop. 4. Cucumbers and fall greens. Plant cucumbers in early summer. After harvesting cucumbers, sow fall greens like lettuce and spinach for a late season harvest. 5. Early tomatoes and fall crops. Grow early maturing tomato varieties in late spring or early summer. Once tomatoes are done, plant cool season crops like broccoli, cauliflower, or Brussels sprouts for a fall harvest. 6. Garlic and leafy greens. Plant garlic cloves in the fall. In the spring, interplant leafy greens among the garlic plants. The greens will be ready for harvest before the garlic matures. 7. Beets and bush beans. Begin with beets in early spring. Once the beets are established, plant bush beans between the rows for a summer bean crop. 8. Spinach and summer squash. Plant spinach in early spring. As the weather warms up, sow summer squash seeds next to the spinach. The squash will take over as the spinach fades. 9. Early potatoes and fall root vegetables. Plant early potatoes in early spring. After harvesting potatoes, plant root vegetables like turnips or rutabagas for a fall harvest. 10. Early lettuce and overwintered garlic. Plant lettuce in early spring. As summer approaches, plant garlic cloves among the lettuce. The garlic will overwinter for a spring harvest. 11. Peppers and fall spinach. Start with pepper plants in late spring. After the peppers are picked, plant spinach for a fall crop. 12. Early onions and summer herbs. Begin with onion sets in early spring. Once onions are established, plant summer herbs like basil or cilantro between the rows. 13. Summer squash and fall radishes. Plant summer squash in late spring. As squash plants decline, sow radishes for a quick fall harvest. Remember to consider your local climate and growing conditions when planning your succession planting schedule. Adjust planting dates and crop combinations to suit your region's specific needs and growing seasons. Intensive planting. Intensive planting, also known as square-foot gardening, optimizes space by planting crops closely together in defined grids or blocks. By reducing wasted space, you can grow more in less area. This is a very useful technique for growing in confined spaces. Here are some typical combinations of vegetables for intensive growing. 1. Tomato, basil, and marigold trio. Tomatoes provide height and yield. Basil deters pests and complements tomatoes in cooking. Marigolds repel nematodes and add color. 2. Three Sisters Garden, corn, beans, squash. Corn serves as a natural trellis for beans to climb. Squash sprawls and shades the soil to prevent weeds. 3. Spinach and radishes. Quick-growing radishes act as space fillers while spinach matures. Radish roots loosen soil for spinach's shallow roots. 4. Carrots and onions. Carrots grow below the soil, while onions grow above. Onions deter carrot flies, and both complement each other in dishes. 5. Lettuce, beets, and Swiss chard mix. These leafy greens grow well together and have similar care requirements. Harvest leaves continuously for a continuous fresh supply. 6. Peppers and cilantro. Cilantro deters aphids and attracts beneficial insects. Peppers provide height and contrast in the same bed. 7. Broccoli and spinach. Broccoli provides shade for spinach in the summer. Spinach matures before broccoli takes up the space. 8. Kale and cauliflower duo. Both kale and cauliflower can thrive when planted closely. Harvest kale leaves while cauliflower heads develop. 9. Bush beans and cucumbers. Beans provide nitrogen to cucumbers, benefiting both. Cucumbers sprawl, while beans grow upright, optimizing space. 10. Zucchini and nasturtiums. Nasturtiums deter aphids and other pests. Zucchini vines cover the ground, providing shade to keep soil cool. 11. Peas and lettuce mix. Peas provide vertical growth with trellises. Lettuce grows in the shade beneath the pea plants. 12. Eggplant and oregano. Oregano deters aphids and enhances eggplant flavor. Both plants require similar sunlight and care. 13. Spinach and radicchio combo. Radicchio's compact heads grow well with spinach. Harvest radicchio heads as spinach reaches maturity. Remember to consider the specific needs of each plant, such as sunlight, water, and spacing, when designing your intensive garden. Proper planning and maintenance are key to success in intensive gardening. Vertical gardening. As discussed earlier, vertical gardening is a space-saving marvel. Consider trellises, wall gardens, and tiered planters to expand your growing area upward. Vining plants like beans and cucumbers thrive in vertical setups. It is an excellent solution for confined spaces, allowing you to grow a variety of vegetables while maximizing your growing area. Here's a comprehensive list of typical vegetables that are great for vertical gardening in confined spaces. 1. Tomatoes. Many compact or determinate tomato varieties work well in vertical gardens. Use trellises, cages, or stakes to support the plants. 2. Cucumbers. Compact cucumber varieties or bush cucumbers are ideal for vertical gardening. They can be grown using trellises or netting. 3. Peppers. Bell peppers, chili peppers, and sweet peppers can be grown vertically. Stake or cage them to provide support. 4. Eggplant. Eggplants thrive in vertical gardens with proper support. Stakes or cages work well for these plants. 5. Beans. Pole beans and runner beans are perfect for vertical gardening. They can climb up trellises or netting. 6. Peas. Tall pea varieties are excellent for vertical gardening. Use trellises or netting to support them. 7. Zucchini. Compact zucchini varieties can be grown vertically using trellises. Ensure the trellis is strong enough to support the weight. 8. Squash. Certain squash varieties, like acorn squash or small winter squash, can be grown vertically with sturdy trellises. 9. Climbing spinach. Some spinach varieties are climbing in nature and can be trained to grow vertically with support. 10. Lettuce. Loose leaf lettuce varieties can be planted in pockets on vertical garden systems. They don't need much depth. 11. Kale. Kale is suitable for vertical gardens, especially dwarf or smaller varieties. 12. Swiss chard. Swiss chard can be grown in vertical gardens. Its colorful stems add visual appeal. 13. Radishes. Radishes have shallow roots and can be grown in vertical pockets or containers. 14. Herbs. Many herbs, such as basil, parsley, and cilantro, work well in vertical gardens, either in pockets or containers. 15. Scallions. Scallions or green onions can be grown in containers or pockets. 16. Lemon cucumbers. These round cucumbers are perfect for vertical gardening and have a unique appearance. 17. Cherry tomatoes. Compact cherry tomato varieties are well suited for vertical gardens. 18. Bush beans. Some bush bean varieties are suitable for vertical gardening in containers. 19. Microgreens. Microgreens can be grown vertically in small containers or pocket systems. 20. Strawberries. Strawberries can be grown in vertical pockets or hanging containers. 21. Nasturtiums. While not a vegetable, nasturtiums are edible and can be grown vertically. They also deter pests. 22. Lettuce mix. Create a living salad wall with different lettuce varieties in pockets or containers. 23. Asian greens. Bok choy, tatsoi, and other Asian greens can thrive in vertical gardens. 24. Borage. Borage is both edible and visually appealing, making it a great addition to vertical gardens. 25. Arugula. Arugula can be grown vertically in small spaces, and its peppery leaves are a tasty addition to salads. When selecting vegetables for your vertical garden, consider the growing conditions, including sunlight, water, and support structures. Proper care and maintenance are essential for a successful vertical garden in confined spaces. Container variety. Choose containers of various sizes and heights to accommodate different plant types. Tall containers are excellent for deep-rooted plants, while shallow pots suit herbs and smaller vegetables. Crop selection. Select high-yield varieties of vegetables and fruits. Compact or dwarf varieties often produce prolifically in small spaces. Cherry tomatoes, bush beans, and patio peppers are great choices. Regular harvesting with these high-yield gardening techniques, your confined space will yield an impressive harvest, providing you with fresh, organic produce throughout the growing season.